offshoot of the National Live Events Coalition. A lot of people ask that, but we have a focus on our home territory, which is Massachusetts and New England. So we are still part of that national group, but we focus, our board, our members, we focus on the plight of Massachusetts. That's the thing I'm asked the most. Before we get into some of our introductions, I did want to read our new mission statement. As a board, we've been trying to figure out over the last few weeks and months, what is it that we're here to do? What is the mission of the Massachusetts Live Events Coalition? And here's what we came up with. This is on our website. It's in our Facebook group. It's pretty much everywhere we share it. Our mission is to advocate for representation and Massachusetts live event workers impacted by the comprehensive shutdown of their industry due to the COVID-19 pandemic. What that also means is when COVID's over, or when we're to a point where we're back to some sort of semblance of normal, when we're back to work, when we're doing some events, we're still going to be here. We're still going to be working for you, for our live event workers, for our brothers and sisters. This isn't just a pandemic thing. We're here for good now. All right, let's get started. Our first speaker today is the Honorable Mayor of Worcester, Mr. Joseph Petty.
Let's get started. Our first speaker today is the Honorable Mayor of Worcester. Mr. Joseph Petty.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I'm proud to be here today in support of our Yahtzee Local 96 stagehands, and it's important that you are acknowledged. You've been out of work for several months. You're not getting paid. And I'm proud to be standing here with Congressman Jim McGovern, Kenny Merrill Carlson, Joe Carlson, the FL-CIO, Sandy Dunn from DCU, and Troy Siebel from the Hanover Theater. Because our work is our other work, whether it be the Palladium, the DCU, or the Hanover Theater and other venues here in the city of Worcester. And I just want to show my support that for you, the workers, how I can help you. I'm there for you. The city's here for you. We'll always be here for you. It's important. It's just not 12 million. 12 million of the entertainment industry is out of work. And how many other jobs that are related to the entertainment industry are out of work? The restaurant workers, the small retailers that depend on their survival, who depend on you doing your job. So I just end this saying, elections do matter. Well, as Jim McGovern always says, elections do matter. And that's why we need Jim McGovern to return to office this coming November. And don't forget about Jim McGovern. And if you really want to get something done, Vice President Joe Biden, President of the United States, we need your vote, we need your support throughout the whole country, your industry. And don't forget about Senator Ed Markey, who's up for election. So elections do matter. This is what we want. Jim McGovern's doing a fight every day for every industry to make sure people are taken care of in the U.S. Congress. So I'm with you. Kenny Merrill Carlson's with you. We're all with you here in the city of Worcester. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Petty. We appreciate you coming out here and also letting us do this today. Our next speaker is the General Manager of the DCU Center, Ms. Sandy Dunn.
Good morning, everyone. Some brief statistics. On March 15th, when the DCU Center shut down, we had 687 active employees. Today, we have 20. And of those 20, all of them have been impacted by furloughs or salary reductions. Last year, our total payroll for the calendar year was $5.75 million. This year, we're projecting by the year end, it'll be $2.5 million, a 43% reduction. And that's just the people who are directly impacted at the DCU Center, not all the other venues. Since March 15th, we've lost more than 370,000 visitors through the DCU Center doors alone and on the streets of downtown Worcester, patronizing the hotels, the bars, the restaurants, and the parking garages. a loss of nearly $20 million in economic impact to the city of Worcester. The financial impact is to the individuals, to the businesses, to the city, and to the region, and they can be monetized. It's been significant, and we need immediate support from the state and the federal governments. What can't be monetized is the impact to those 650 individuals and more that were at our venue and throughout Central Mass. The loss of income is devastating, but it's so much more than that. The individuals who work in this industry are like family to each other. Local 96 is well represented here, but it's also the ticket seller, the bartender, the concession worker, an usher, security guard, a stagehand, a wardrobe worker, an electrician, a sound operator, a designer, a DJ, an event planner, a booker, a lighting tech, and the myriad of other workers that work in the live event industry. And the toll has been a lot more than just loss of income. The individuals in this industry do so because they have a sense of passion about the live event. Creativity, hard work, and the show must go on. There's nothing like when the lights go up in the beginning of the show to pat each other on the back and say, this has been a job well done. With this passion unfulfilled for the past 7 months, there have been many examples right here among our friends and neighbors of the physical toll, the mental toll, the emotional toll. It's so much more than financial. And to not see anything in the future on the horizon is even a greater toll. Of course, the most important thing right now is the safety of our guests and of our workers, and we can't solve all the great issues of the pandemic. But for now, we need to find solutions to issues for the workers and artists. Soon enough, we will be returning to the joy of experiencing a live event. And that will happen. Now is the time to invest in what is necessary to ensure the quickest rebound, to provide assistance to workers so they don't migrate to other industries, to provide our venues with enough capital to retool now so that they're prepared to open when the timing's right and can provide, most importantly, confidence to the environment. And now is the time to thank those who are here today and those you know in our industry for the great joy that all of you have brought us with these live events, because we now know from the past 7 months what it's like to be without a concert to dance in the aisles, a play to enjoy and applaud, a comedian to make us laugh, or a gathering with our friends and family for a celebration. And I'm sure you all agree that that's the life to live in. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Ms. Dunn. Okay, next up, we have one of them's from the road, is a merch supervisor on the tour, on a tour, and the other one is a production manager from the Worcester Palladium. We have coming up Chad and Keith Toper. Hi. For those that don't know me, I'm Keith Toper. I was born and raised here in Worcester, the heart of the Commonwealth. I've been working in the live entertainment industry for the past 15 years. I'm on the house crew at the DCU Center, I'm a stagehand at the Hanover Theater, and I've been extremely fortunate to be the production manager at the Worcester Palladium for the last 3 years. Fact of the matter is, it's extremely tough for me to be up here. My job has always been behind the curtain. The microphone is not mine, and certainly not the spotlight. But I have an obligation to be here. As production manager, my role is to make sure the show goes on. I'm here for my Palladium family, my IATSE brothers and sisters, the touring artists and crews who make my job possible, and all the local artists and fans that need our venues. I'm here for my city. On March 13th, we were forced to go dark, and no one knows when we can get back to work. First to close, we will be last to reopen.
Right now, I stand here as 1 out of 12 million out of work. 95% of the Palladium staff has been laid off. That's managers, security guards, bar staff, box office personnel, stagehands, hospital runners, riggers, cleaners, our lighting and audio companies with their employees, caterers, backline companies, etc. We're all struggling to make ends meet, and that only scratches the surface on how many it takes to get one single show done. It doesn't even mention the artist side of things. They're all suffering just as much. We were all stripped away from jobs we love. The businesses around us are also struggling. The parking lots, restaurants, bars, hotels, local stores, vendors and distributors are all feeling the effects of our closure. We all need each other to help build our economy. The PPP loan wasn't designed for us to be closed this long. We are at risk for closing for good without additional assistance. We've already lost too many historic venues across the nation. It's crucial to the health of our nation that we do not lose. Unemployment benefits have not been enough as all bills still remain the same. We were forced out of work. We shouldn't be forced to suffer. In the months after closure, I've watched the mental health of the nation decline rapidly. People are polarized more than ever, making it very apparent that we need live music and events. Stage to fix our to those heroes. It's where we can reach out and touch our dreams and be part of history. Right now, we need help. We need to be there in the end to repair the damage of the pandemic. I urge you to please visit the following websites and help if you can. WeMakeEvents.org. Send a letter to Congress in support of the Restart Act to extend and expand PUA, FPUC, and the PPP program. Donate to NEVA, the National Independent Venue Association, at SaveOurStages.com to help locally owned independent venues stay afloat until we can safely open again. Donate or participate in one of the many silent auctions at forthenomads.org to directly help touring crew members who have been left in the dark. And please visit your favorite artists or bands' websites, purchase the live streams, and buy some merch. We all need your help, and if you can give anything, it'll be sincerely appreciated. I promise you that when we come back, you'll witness the most amazing shows ever. Stay safe, stay strong. Don't forget, together, we can accomplish amazing things. Stay inspired, my friends.
Hello, my name is Chad Toper. For the last 11 years, I've been a freelance tour manager and merchandiser for a number of international and national independent metal, punk, and hardcore bands, as well as I've been working in and around the event industry since 2004. On March 13th, the 6-week-long tour that I just started officially got sidelined after one show. And since then, every other tour, festival, and event has been canceled for the rest of the year and now stretching into 2021. There are countless reasons I and all of us could name for the reasons why we all chose to follow this path less traveled by. But one of the main reasons, the most massive ones that I can think of from an early age, was how enriching this environment is for all of us. The passion, the energy that surrounds it is quite immeasurable. That very dynamic fuels everything in my world of independent touring artists. Every smaller venue, every smaller act or band are essentially small businesses. Small businesses who are just as essential in breeding enriching atmospheres for our cities. They're all vastly important culturally. And that's something I've witnessed firsthand all over the world. And now many of these venues, bands, and businesses are in jeopardy of having to throw in the towel. My career, as well as countless other brothers and sisters, both near and far, are in bleak standings. And if anything, our community is begging for a sense of togetherness that we all best know we can help provide. I'd like to urge all that may not know to and further check out these websites like WeMakeEvents.org and sign letters to Congress and try and further help the other 12 million affected by not being able to work during this time. I friggin' miss gigging, and I can't wait to get back to it with all of you. Thank you for lending me your ears.
Awesome. Thank you so much, guys. All right, up next, from the IATSE Local 96 in the wardrobe department, we have Ms. Maria Alfred Gallagher.
Hi, everybody. My name is Maria A. Paul Gallagher. I've been doing this close to 40 years. I do wardrobe. My husband works in Boston as a stagehand. On March 9th, I got the call that there was no more work. And the following week, my husband got the call there was no more work. We've been plodding along. It's amazing when people realize that 12 million of us don't have a job to go to. They say find another job. We all know that's not that easy to find another job. You've been doing this like I have for 40 years. You have no other skills. It's time for us to band together and get Congress or somebody to start pushing relief acts for us. We're running out of income. We're running out of housing. Some people have it worse off than we do. It's hard because people don't realize that when they look at a movie or Hollywood, they see the actors and the performers. When they see a stage show, they see the performers. They say, oh, well, they have money, they're okay. They don't realize that it takes close to, 500 of us to put on one single show. That's from the office staff all the way down to the cleaners at the end of the night. So there's millions of us out of work. I can't say much more. Everyone's pretty much said what I would like to say. But right now we need to band together, whether we think it's effective or not. I believe that it is, that we keep putting pressure on Congress. We keep writing letters, we keep pushing the issue, we speak out as much as we can about it, so that sooner or later we can get back to work in a safe environment and create the magic that we all create. That's it. Thank you, guys.
That was great. Okay, moving right along. I'm going to clean this off. All right. Moving right along down the list. I would love to welcome the CEO and president of the Hanover Theater, Mr. Troy Siebels.
There's more than 200 people who, over the course of the year, earn all or a part of their living bringing shows to our stage over there, a couple of blocks over. If the arts are not a luxury but are essential, if we believe that, as we say we do, then those 200 people are essential workers. And the 12 million people unemployed in this industry are essential workers. COVID-19 is not the fault of our leaders in Washington. We can't blame them for it, but we are going to need their help. We're going to need their help if we're going to survive it. Now, there are countries around the world that have passed legislation and created parts of that safety net that Sandy spoke of. Canada, Great Britain, France, Germany, Australia, South Korea, South Africa, more every day. I'm grateful to Jim McGovern and some of his colleagues in Washington for pushing to pass the Save Our Stages Act, pushing to extend pandemic unemployment assistance, pushing to extend the PPP program. And votes aren't something that we normally make public, but I don't mind saying, Jim, I'm planning to vote for you next week. I think sometimes we in Massachusetts wonder what else we can do. We feel a little impotent to do more than we're doing. I have friends and relatives in other countries, and I'm calling and emailing them and asking them to vote with us in mind and to call and email their legislators and push them to pass these same pieces and create this same safety net. I hope that you will all do the same. Thanks to those who created this event, action is so much better than inaction and will get us through this. Thank you for your time this morning.
Assistant with the cleaning of the mics. Thank you so much, Troy. Next up on our list is a touring audio engineer, Mr. Kevin Thurber.
Good morning to all event workers, and good afternoon to everybody else. My name is Kevin Thurber. I am an audio engineer and IATSE member. I was on tour when the cancellations first started. A week later, I was home. As what turned out to be our last performance was taking place, every one of us backstage could feel it, even if we didn't really know it. Our singers, dancers, performers, musicians, they were all playing and giving their best. Our crew was dialed all the way in. Nearly everyone in that company had done the show over 100 times by this point. And although we gave it our all every performance, that feeling that I mentioned gave us the capability to do it better than we ever had before. Post-show, we shook hands, exchanged gifts with our locals, and exchanged shrugs as well, over whether or not we would be seeing them the next day. We saw them 3 days later to load our show out. 2 days later, we got on a bus to cross the border back from Canada, because we weren't sure if we'd make it through an international airport altogether. A few days later, I was home, and as you all know, that was about 7 months ago. I have had some work in the past month or so, driving concerts, Zoom events, broadcasts, but it hasn't been enough to survive. I've had to pick up work outside of the industry, and I feel very lucky to have been able to do that. Not everyone has been that lucky. My time touring introduced me to stagehands all across the country, and I've kept in touch in this difficult time. I know things are tough for them, and that's tough for us, and things aren't getting easier for us. The federal government has been neglecting us for these past few months, and for many of us, what we've been surviving on will not be enough to carry us forward. I'd like to thank all of you for coming out today, because your voices are the ones that need to be heard. The voices of those many who are struggling. The voices that say the best way to both survive and recover is to help the people first. Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin. All right, next up on our list is the Managing Director of the JMAC Brick Box, Ms. Olivia Scanlon.
Hi, I'm Olivia Scanlon. I work right there in the Jean McDonough Arts Center as Managing Director of the Brick Box Theater, which was supposed to open in May, but has not. This is Rusty, my best friend, my sidekick, and a great chihuahua of the theater. I would like to use my remarks to humbly and respectfully address Governor Baker directly. Governor Baker, I have been downright grateful to have you at the helm over these last 6 months, and in particular, I have appreciated how all of your decision-making has been rooted in logic and science and good sense. Yes, thank you very much for your service, sir, and everybody in your administration. For this reason, I'm hopeful that you'll hear me out. Governor Baker, if you think it is safe enough for folks to be in a restaurant eating, drinking, and talking, sitting across from one another without their masks on, then surely you think it is safe enough for people to be seated in the theater, far apart from one another, all facing the same direction, not eating, not drinking, not talking. Please, Mr. Governor, thank you. Mr. Governor, please consider our jobs and our industry with the same care that you are addressing the restaurant workers and their jobs and their industry. And please keep in mind that the product that we deliver, the shows, the concerts, the comedians, nourish the minds and hearts and souls of our neighbors in a way that is desperately needed right now. For these reasons, I ask you to put us back in our theaters in a safe, socially distant way, and I trust, as ever has been the case with you, that logic and good sense will prevail. Thank you.
Thank you, Olivia. That was great. All right, moving right along. Up next, we have the general manager of the Worcester Palladium, Mr. Chris Bassaw.
My message is simple. My message is clear. Republicans and Democrats need to put aside partisan politics and pass the new stimulus bill. Can you hear that, Washington? Let's get this done. Let's do what's right for the people. Let's do what's right for the people that have elected you. We need this. We need this funding. You all know how important this is. I don't need to stand up here and tell you how important it is. So let's get it done. Lastly, thank all of you guys for everything that you do. We can't put on events without all of you. So thank all of you. And we will be back. The show will go on.
All right, I'm getting better at that. Thank you, Chris. Our next speaker is our Worcester City Councilor, Ms. Candy Marrow Carlson.
Thank you, Mark, and most importantly, thank you to all of you who came here today, because this awareness is really what we need here in this city. I stand here today with you, and many of you know me. I sit at the Labor Council each and every month prior to March 13th with Mark and some of the guys from IATSE. Again, it's important for us as elected officials to be here supporting you. As Troy said, that we need to make sure that this industry is as important as others. And if other countries can do this, we certainly here in the United States of America can do this. The one thing that we do have going for us is the fact that we have a congressman and we have a city who cares about each and every one of you. So I look forward to working with our city administration along with our congressman and making sure that we can be as helpful as we possibly can. But again, because of what you're doing here today, this is what will make a difference. Thank you all.
Thank you very much. Up next, we have from the IATSE Local 96 stagehands, Mr. Mark Dionis.
Thank you. At first, I was going to give a whole big speech on sympathy me, sympathy you, that type of thing. But I want to give you a little history on IATSE Local 96. The state of Massachusetts entertainment does not stop after 128 East. We are in the Central Mass area. Local 96 has been around since 1902. We initially were at the auditorium, way down the street down there. Then the DCU Center in the early 80s was built. We were able to supply the labor for there. Convention Center built after that. After the Convention Center, many years ago, 12 years ago to believe, Hanover Theater was built. We've supplied the labor at Hanover Theater. What I want to hear back is from our old steward, Don Afol, are you around? That means, can you come to work? Right now, I'm dressed in my blacks, waiting to come to work. We don't have any. There's no relief in sight. Local 96 has been there. As you can see, the following we have here, we have a great turnout from our Local 96. You deserve a round of applause for being here today.
not only do we supply the 3 venues that I just mentioned, but anyone else that needs help with production, we've worked at UMass, we've worked at every college. There's 13 colleges in Worcester. I think we worked at every one of them doing some kind of an event. So for us to say we're available, we are available. Local 96 is around. We're sound. We're growing. Right now we have approximately, and I could be wrong, you can fact check me if you want, but I think we got 300 active people around in the union. We are available for work. What we need now is the way we do it, the last door closes on a truck, that's the end of the work. We need Washington to not go home till the last door is closed so we can all go back to work. Thank you.
Great job, Mark. Making us, Mark, look good. Thank you. All right. Up next, we have the president of the Central Mass AFL-CIO, Mr. Joe Carlson.
Good morning, sisters and brothers, and thank you for being here. I know one thing for sure is not a one of you want to be here. You want to be back to work, but sometimes in life we just need to play the cards we're dealt. And this is unfortunate because what union people want to do is go to work, support their families, and have a good life for themselves. But unfortunately, with what's going on, it's going to take legislation from Congress to deal with this issue. It's the only place in America that the resources exist. I'm proud to stand here today with Congressman McGovern to certainly do his part representing Central Massachusetts. But I will be making sure that the other 8 Congress people from Massachusetts know your plight, know this is what is necessary, know that Senator Markey, Senator Elizabeth Warren, know that we need to get this legislation passed. The only way that it gets done, and that's why your voices are important today, is we all know in life the squeaky wheel gets the oil. It's a bunch of bullshit if you think you're going to stay home and somehow this is miraculously going to get resolved by itself. We're going to have to be persistent. We're going to have to demand that what you're entitled to happens. I see on television all the time they're looking to do stuff for the airline industry. What the hell makes the airline industry any different than what you folks are doing? We need to make sure, and I'm not looking to pit one group against another. That's not what America's about. But America's about getting to the table and taking care of everybody and putting the resources on until this is over. Because talking to Mark the other day, we don't see this getting over in any month or any 2 months. This might be until next fall before everybody gets back to work. So we're not looking for something that's good for 6 weeks or 8 weeks. We're looking for legislation that's long-term to take care of your needs, to take care of your families, and do what's right by the people in America. So thank you very much. Stay strong. Make sure your voices are heard. Talk to your congressional delegations. Talk to your senators. Make sure people you know around the country are doing the same thing where they live. Because this is going to take 50 states to work on this simultaneously together to get what you folks deserve and have you treated properly. Thank you very much and stay strong.
I have the privilege now of introducing our keynote speaker. I've known Jim for a very, very long time, and I can tell you right now, I don't have to give a long resume. I don't have to tell his background. Your friend, my friend, Congressman Jim McGovern.
Well, thank you, Mark. And I want to thank the Live Event Coalition, IATSE Local 96, the Palladium, the DCU Center, and the Hanover Theater for hosting this event. I want to thank especially the men and women who came up here and told us their stories. And I want to thank all of you. But to those who came up here and talked, I want you to know that I, Councilor Carlson, Mayor Petty, and a whole bunch of other elected officials in this area are going to have your back. It is a disgrace that you have to be here in the middle of a pandemic. fighting not only for yourselves, but for your industry. But as Joe Carlson says, I mean, you got to do what you got to do. You know, my old friend who unfortunately passed away recently, John Lewis, great civil rights leader, used to always say that in difficult times, we all have a responsibility to make some good trouble. And this is what good trouble is. When you see something that is wrong, you have to get out there and fight to make it right. And that's what we are doing here today. This pandemic has not been easy for anybody, but the live event industry has been one of the hardest hit. And I don't have to tell you, but COVID-19 and this president's ignorance, his incompetence, and his failure to come up with any sort of plan caused the live event industry to be one of the first to shut down and likely to be one of the last to reopen. It didn't have to be like this. It did not have to be like this. Back in January, he knew what was about to come our way. He should have prepared us. And if he did, if we had a plan, we would be talking about reopening. We would be talking about getting this economy back on the right track. But he did nothing to stop it. That's just a fact. It's simply unacceptable. And it's one of the many reasons that we have to retire him next Tuesday. Now, last spring, as we learned about the virus, it became clear that Congress needed to act. And we were able to pass the CARES Act in March. And we were able to do it in a bipartisan way. This $2.2 trillion stimulus bill included things like funding for hospitals and PPE, enhanced unemployment benefits, stimulus checks, a ban on evictions, and a whole lot more. And although the CARES Act helped, and I'm the first to say that it didn't do enough, including for many of you here today, the PPP loans didn't work for everyone, and many mixed income earners fell through the cracks of expanded unemployment assistance. That's why in May, almost 6 months ago, the House passed the HEROES Act. Now, the HEROES Act would provide more funding for our healthcare system, including research money to create a vaccine and therapeutic drugs. It included more money for hospitals, contracts, and PPE for frontline workers. It provides economic assistance, including the Save Our Stages Act, which would provide $10 billion and a lifeline for independent venues. It provides hazard pay for our frontline workers, money for schools, child care money, housing, and so much more that I know people around this country are struggling with today. I'm also a co-sponsor of the Restart Act, which would improve the PPP program and help so many in the live event industry who have lost all revenue and don't have a clear timeline for reopening. But here's the thing. That bill has been sitting on Mitch McConnell's desk for almost 6 months, collecting dust. And we have tried and we have pleaded to try to get a deal with him. We even negotiated with ourselves and lowered the overall amount by $1.3 trillion that was contained in the HEROES Act. And still nothing. And still nothing. He says that we need to be patient. We're not quite sure that there's a need for another stimulus package. Now, I don't know what the hell planet he lives on, but it's not just those of you here today. It's people all across the country right now who are struggling in the wake of this terrible pandemic. The people of this country need help, and Congress needs to step up to the plate and do its job. You should expect your government to work for you. You should not have to be here today. But here's the deal. We have an election coming up on Tuesday, and we can't even get a commitment that when we come back, they'll take this up. I mean, he says we're busy. Well, what they're busy doing for the last few weeks in the United States Senate, in case you didn't know, was trying to ram down the throats of the American people a right-wing Supreme Court justice who's going to turn the clock back on the last 75 years of social progress in this country, including to overturn the Affordable Care Act, throwing millions of people off of their health insurance and taking away protections for people with pre-existing conditions. They're doing this in the middle of a goddamn pandemic. It is unconscionable. And so we need to put pressure on this majority leader to bring the Senate back into session and to get them to work on a stimulus package that includes the Restart Act and the Save Our Stages Act. We need him to do it now because time is of the essence. Look, you heard it over and over again about what can we do here. I mean, you all have friends in other states. You know, call them up. Tell them to put pressure on their senators. You know, tell them to get out and vote. You know, I mean, there's no secret to this stuff. I mean, the reason why we're not moving quicker on this legislation is because we don't have the votes in the United States Senate. And my view is this: if elected officials are not going to be with you, then you should not be with them, whether it's here in Massachusetts or in any other state in this country. Look, this is not a time to sit idly by, and I know it is frustrating for you to be here, and I know the uncertainty about what's going to happen in your lives is maddening. But I really do believe that help will be on the way. I really do believe that we're going to get to a point where we will get a working majority to get you the help. The question is how quickly we can get it to you. And I'll just finally say this. I appreciate every single one of you in the work that you do, because in addition to working in a field that you can support your families, you are also supporting this community and this Commonwealth and this country. One of the things that makes this city so wonderful are our concert venues, is the theater, our convention center. You know, it makes it a more livable city, a more desirable city. It makes it a destination point for people from all around the country and all around the world. It's all because of the work that you do. You need to know its value. And so I'm just going to close as I began. You have my word that I'm going to do everything humanly possible to fight for you in Washington. And if we can't get something before the election, I will be driving back down as soon as I possibly can after the election to raise the issues that you raised here today and to make sure we get something done. Government should be working for the people. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Governor, for being here. That was amazing. We are going to wrap up our program. We have two more messages that we want to give out before we do that. But I do want to say very quickly that all of this today, this entire event, was brought together really by one person. A lot of us helped connect the dots, and that's really what the Mass Live Events Coalition does, is when people come to us and say, can we do this, can we do that, can we have an event, can we do a demonstration, we say, sure, let's start to connect the dots and figure out how we can do that. That person who put this together and really birthed this event was someone very connected out here in Central Mass in the Worcester area. They kept saying to us, we need to do something, we need to do something, we need to do something, we need to get out of Boston, we need to get out of that area. And we listened, and this came out amazing. This was an amazing program, in my opinion. So I want to personally thank, but also introduce Ms. Brenda Shepard.
I actually thought you were talking about Mercedes for a second there, because she's amazing. She's been helping pull all this together. So, wow, much louder now. So this is fantastic. Hi, Brenda Shepard. I freelance at the Hanover Theater for the most part. That's my day job. I'm the house LD when there are shows, and when there are not shows, I'm somewhere else sometimes, but that's my main gig. Without work there, it's been quiet. for the past 7 months. But that's not why I'm here. You guys all did such an amazing job speaking, and I just want to throw a big thank you to being here and to taking part in this event. It's very important. I want to thank Local 96, IATSE, Local 96 for providing speakers for us today and providing people to be here to throw light on this pandemic and how it's affecting our live events industry. I want to thank Image Production Services for bringing us some cases. I want to thank Derek at JDI for also bringing us amazing cases as well and providing some people. You both gave us some people and some cases. I want to thank Wooden Kiwi for these amazing letters behind me. Thank you, Richard Wood, Wooden Kiwi. Now for our speakers. Thank you so much for being here. For our venues, they mean the world to us. The Hanover Theater, Troy Siebels, DCU Center, Sandy Dunn. The words that you say are incredible. Olivia Scanlon from the JMAC Brickbox. T. McDonough Arts Center. Sorry. It's so much easier to say JMAC. The Palladium, Chris Esau. Thank you so much. Your words matter. They hold us together. They keep us together, and we'll get through it because of them. Special thanks, Congressman Jim McGovern. Thank you for fighting for us. We need you. Mayor Joe Petty, same. Amazing words. I want to throw a special thank you out to the president of Central Mass AFL-CIO, Joe Carlson, and Worcester City Councilor, Candy Merrill Carlson. I'm honored that you're here and humbled that you're willing to speak with us. I want to say our final thanks, sorry. Not really great at this public speaking thing, but I'm giving it a go. Special thanks to the city manager's office for letting us hold this event here. I want to thank everybody at City Hall for letting us have this event. The Parks Department especially. Millie has been fantastic. I want to thank Amanda at the Worcester Police Department for helping us secure the permit so that we can actually have noise at this rally and be able to, you guys can hear us. I want to thank Mark Apalt on sound. Mark Dayonis. Especially from Local 96 for bringing the people. And that's it. Oh, and thanks, Mark, for cleaning the microphones, because that's huge. I appreciate it. Thank you all for being here.
All right. Time I have to do it. Okay. That just about wraps up our show. I do want to call out a few people that are here that make all of these events happen. They're the reason that these demonstrations go so well. I mean, it's hard for me to say that I'm the president of the Mass Live Events Coalition because I really just kind of connect the dots and help people from point A to point B, put things together, help with the holes in some of these events. And I like to look at it like I've got the 30,000-foot view on what we're all working on. But the people that really are the boots on the ground, the masters of their craft, are some of our board members that are here today. We've got Mandy Holt, who you probably met over at the starting point. Mandy's great. She's been my left hand with a lot of things. DJ down here on camera, he's doing our live stream. He's great with everything video and live stream and pictures that we've done. Thomas, say hi to everybody. Thomas is one of our new board members and has been a great asset. Jen, I know you're over there wearing it. There you are. You're wearing a mask. It's hard to tell who you are with all your masks on. Jen's been a great asset as well. She's one of our new board members. Who else is down there? Anybody else from our board? I don't think so. Oh, Becky! I always forget Becky. On emails, on everything. I don't know what it is about Becky. You're not forgettable, believe me. But Becky has been in charge of a lot of our safety operations since day one, our first event. You've been incredible, and you're great to have on the team. Thank you so much, Becky, for everything that you do. And I think last, but certainly not least, if Mandy's been my left hand, then Mercedes has been my right hand for everything. We've done a lot of these events, a lot of planning, a lot of our work has been on Zoom meetings, putting together our website, putting together the Facebook group, putting together our bylaws, putting together our mission statement, putting all of this together so that we can be a group that's taken seriously and we can have Congress people come like Mr. McGovern and Mr. Lynch at one of our previous engagements to put together the wedding that we had a few weeks ago, our empty wedding and our empty event back in September. It takes a lot of work that a lot of people probably don't see. But if anyone was to understand the amount of work that goes into something that people don't see, it's this group in front of us. And with that, I'll hand it off to Mercedes Roman Manson, and I'll just say thank you to everybody. We love you very much.
Love is a strong word, but we'll go with it. You guys are amazing. These things we do for you. We will continue to fight for you. We are one of the strongest, hardest working groups of people. Y'all know this. 4 a.m. load-ins, 6 a.m. load-ins, 11 p.m. to 8 a.m. load-outs, 4 truck shows, 6 truck shows, 1 truck show. It doesn't matter. You guys are the hardest working people. You deserve to be able to go back to work safely, but go back to work. These are important. What you give to your communities through the work you do is enormous. People often comment one of the things they miss most is arts and culture, events, weddings, social events, being able to come together for positive and joyous moments. This is important. We need to keep doing this. So that being said, share these messages with you. Share messages with your friends, your family, your friends, people you know. Keep fighting. Vote, vote, vote. This is an important time. If you have friends that need help going to vote, help them vote. Give people rides if you can. Get people out there if they need to know where they're going. Make sure that they know how the voting process works. This is very important. We're going to start rolling out voting initiatives on our sites just to help people know how to vote, how to help. They're still looking for poll workers in some places. Get out there, get on the internet, figure out how to help, but please, please, please vote. That is how you use your voice. You have a voice, you're given it. Use it. I know y'all can be loud, because I've heard us in a load-in, or in an alley, or at a meeting, or if you're Olivia, I yelled at her for 4 years, don't screw into my floor, or doing something like that, because I'm a production manager, that's what I do, I yell at people. So please use your voice, use your right to vote, make the initiative for yourself, for your family, for your loved ones, for our communities, for our state, for our country. I'm going to stop there. And so that being said, thank you for coming. We need to close up, which means we need to strike, which is something you guys are all familiar with. If you push a box over, if you'd be so kind as to help us, if you can, put the boxes, if you come back up here, we need to push the boxes over to the JDI truck. So if you don't mind helping us do that. If you have a sign, if you filled out a sign with your name on it, we'd love to get those back for the Live Event Coalition. Becky, who I'm not going to forget, Becky does get forgotten a lot. If you guys understood, Becky, one of our most vocal board members, is oftentimes the person that is kind of like no one sees, much like us. So it's great that you can see her as she raises her hand. Give her the board that you have. And thank you for coming. And the video will be posted. We'll put it on the group. Please share the video. It will have all of these speakers. They need to hear everyone's message, Congressman McGovern. Everybody needs to hear these stories and understand what's going on. And we will keep fighting for that option. Okay? Have a great day, guys. Thank you so much.